every black person has to make a decision. Every black person. Either you are going to fight white racism and fight white supremacy, or you are going to aid, abet, support, and accommodate it. Every black person has to make that decision. You're either going to ignore white supremacy, which means that you are supporting it by neglect, okay? Or you're going to fight white supremacy. Black elitists do not fight white supremacy. They simply bargain with white supremacy. They reason with white supremacy. They come to certain types of agreements with white supremacy. But they're not trying to bash white supremacy because they themselves are white supremacists in blackface.
Okay. I just wanted to get that clip. I thought that was very, very interesting, and I had to listen to it several times. And that's setting me up for the next question that I had for you. We have approximately 13 minutes left, and I wanted to make sure, excuse me, that I get that in. Now, my question is, should people of African descent participate in the political arena? Should they not?
Okay. When you study electoral politics, anything you learn is that people get into politics to protect what they already have. They get into politics to protect or expand what they already have. If you look at the Supreme Court, everyone on the Supreme Court is a millionaire. You look at United States Congress, everyone in Congress is a millionaire. You look at the president, every president has been a millionaire, including President Obama, who's worth several $1 million. So people don't get into politics to try to get. They get into politics to try to protect or expand what they already have. Now, strategically speaking, you can use electoral politics as one strategy amongst many to advance your cause. The problem is we are taught, brainwashed into believing that electoral politics is the be-all and end-all of black struggle. In other words, you don't need to do anything else except vote in order to change your condition. It is the worst message that black people have been taught by black bourgeoisie as well as by the American social order. To vote is revolutionary. So black people voting for President Obama, they compared that to the March on Washington. They compared that to the Dr. King Montgomery bus boycott. They compared that to the Garvey movement. They compared that to what Malcolm was doing. Okay? That has nothing to do with that. Electoral politics will never change anything if you use it by itself. It must be coupled with other strategies. Remember, every law, every change that black people have gotten in this society, they did not get it through the vote. Nothing significant that you have received has been had by a vote. You didn't get your freedom from a vote. You didn't get the Civil Rights Bill by a vote. You didn't get the Voting Rights Act by a vote. Everything you got through what? Protest and agitation. Everything. There is not one significant piece of legislation or change in black existence since slavery that we got through voting. Voting has never, ever been a major avenue of change for black people. And it never will be. Grassroots street protest, agitation, and struggle. That's how we got where we are. If you want to use voting as a strategy on the local or state level, so be it. You can use it as a strategy to put pressure on elected officials to do what they should be doing and haven't been doing for decades. I have no problem with that as a strategy. But if you want to sell voting like a religion, as they've been doing to black people, making you religiously believe that you're going to change something just through voting, then you're being hoodwinked. Most importantly, we got to recognize that the black vote will never count for anything anyway unless it is organized and locked together. Until you have dozens, hundreds, tens of thousands of black votes all going for the same candidate at the same time, it won't matter anyway. Our vote is too disorganized. Even when we vote, we disorganize. You got 50,000 blacks going Democrat, 50,000 blacks going Republican, 50,000 blacks going Green Party, 50,000 blacks going Independent. And so you get nowhere because the votes are not organized. Remember, in a democracy, The minority is always at the mercy of a majority. And the democracy, the majority rules. So with black people being 12 to 17% of the United States population, how in the hell are you going to decide the outcome of anything as a minority? You can't. So the way you make your influence felt is by locking your vote together and using it as a bargaining rod, and you put your votes before both major parties, and you ask, what are you going to do for me if I do this for you? And if you don't deliver on what you said, the same 40 million black votes that put your ass in office is going to take your ass out of office. That's the only way we're going to get stuff done. They keep telling black people that they made a difference because they got out and vote. How the hell can a disorganized, schizophrenic vote mean anything to anybody? That's another great myth that's been pushed on our people.
Okay. All right. Now, let me ask you this. I noticed that in a lot of cases where there's upheavals in the land and where there's demonstrations and rioting and stuff, this brother Al Sharpton shows up. I mean, people like him show up and try to, and I never understood, you know, where he came from. Could you shed some light on those type brothers?
Well, here's the thing. Most black leaders today are opportunists. They only show up when there's something in it for them. Most of these guys won't even come and help you unless you pay them. I know this for a fact. When you find out that Shaprton or somebody else was at a community organization, you know that somebody paid for it most of the time. They don't do anything for free. Black leadership is a business for them. It's a business. Just like you might sell sneakers or have your own dry cleaners, or you might sell whatever you do. Black leadership, for most black leaders, it is a business. It is a way of living off the people. It is not about making any change. And I was very disappointed in Reverend Shaprton, not that I really trusted that he was serious anyway, but when he prostituted himself before the federal branch of the government, as he has done and continues to do with this Obama presidency, you know, I've lost all respect for the man. No black leader can afford to endorse a president and approve of everything he does, including neglect his own people. When Shaprton did that, he lost my respect. I lost a lot of respect for that man. I didn't have much to begin with, but once he done that, that was the last straw for me. But the problem is what? Accountability. We don't hold these people accountable. We let people sell us out, come back, and they could be our leaders again. That is absolutely ridiculous. You're not supposed to let somebody like that come right back into your community after he's been selling you out for 3 years under Obama. President Obama is no longer president. Al Sharpton will go right back to the hood from where he come from and start acting like he's a black leader again after he been sold out. Why? Because we don't hold him accountable. So you have to ask yourself, who's at fault? Is it the leader or is it the people who keep following him?
Okay. And I always see the brother show up, and he's always there. He's always giving the speech, but I never see anything positive happen as a result of him being there. And I mean, I don't really know the brother, but I'm just wondering. I was just wondering, who is he? Where did he come from? You know, and what's going on with him? So I just thought I'd ask that because I know you travel, and I figure maybe you knew more about him than I do because I don't watch regular TV a lot, and I definitely don't look at what they're calling news at all. Now, I have on occasion listened to brother Tavis Smiley.
Okay.
But I stopped. Do you know that brother?
Oh, I'm familiar with both of them. I mean, they all basically come in the same vein. You know, there's not much difference between those guys. Most of them are all opportunists. Most of them just simply are looking for a way to get paid off the black struggle without really doing anything for black people. You know, Al Sharpton has never really put himself on the line for black people. Tavis Smiley, Cornel West, Michael Eric Dyson. These guys are all bourgeoisie. They act like they're leaders, but they're really just bourgeoisie. Their hustle is the people. Their hustle is the people. What have they done of significance for black people? Nothing. They just talk about your problem. Talk about your problem. Have a radio show. Talk about your problem. Has Al Sharpton, has Tavis Smiley, has Cornel West, has Michael Eric Dyson, when have they ever held a community meeting to seriously organize black people to bring about change? When have you seen it? You never have. So if y'all care about black people so much, why haven't y'all started organizing us yet? Know who's sincere, because the sincere people are always about organizing people. The sincere people are always about organizing people. Why haven't they began organizing us? Why? Because they're not interested in the black struggle. They're only interested in making pennies and cents off the black struggle. You know, a serious leader when he starts talking organization. Not just talking, but speaking and walking organization. Minister Farrakhan, he's not organizing black people. Jesse Jackson, he's not organizing black people. Al Sharpton, he's not organizing black people. Who in the country with national prominence is actively organizing black people? Give me one name, because I don't know of one. They're not. They're living off the people. They're not living for the people.
Mm-hmm. For the white man's tyranny on black people. Because you have bought into the enemy. And you want to lead your people not to God, not to Jesus, but you want to lead them into the path of their open enemy that God has come to separate them from.